All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. 6 o'clock, and roll call, please.
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood. Meg LaFave.
Here.
Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick. Here. James Coffey.
Here.
Rick Collins.
All right. Approve resolution 210, approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of October 25th, 2018 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? With obviously the adjustment of the change of 18. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Is there anything for public comment this evening? Just because you're not typically in the audience, I want to make sure people understand, is there anything for public comment this evening? Okay. Resolution 211 abstract.
Resolved that the abstract about it of claims number 11B-18, 2370 to 2460 for $719,723.07. An abstract 11B-18, 413 to 428 prepays in the amount of $458,721.13 be reviewed as received by the audit committee, and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Dave, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 212, monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file of monthly department head reports, building and grounds, park and recreation, codes and zoning, supervisor's financial report, and town clerk.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 213, adoption of the 2019 budget.
Whereas the town board, town of Plattsburgh, has met at the time and place specified in the notice of the public hearing to review the entire 2019 preliminary budget and heard persons desirous to be heard thereon, and now therefore be resolved that after the meeting with department heads and having a public hearing, the preliminary budget was amended and is hereby adopted as a final budget for the town of Plattsburgh for the fiscal year beginning the first day of January 2019, and that the attached budget, also adopted, be entered in detail into the minutes of the proceedings of the town board. And it be further resolved, the supervisor shall prepare and certify in duplicate copies of said annual budget as adopted by this town board, together with the assessment rules for the benefit improvements adopted pursuant to section 116 and 202A, subdivision 2 of the town law, and deliver one copy thereof to the Clinton County Board of Legislators. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion? LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 214, complete assessment rolls for 2019.
Whereas the town board, town of Plattsburgh, has met at the time and place specified in the notice of public hearing to review the completed assessment rolls for the ambulance, water, stormwater, water waste management, lighting, highway districts, to be heard by all persons desirous to be heard. Thereupon, therefore it is resolved that the completed assessment roll be and hereby are adopted as the annual assessment roll for the town of Plattsburgh. And to be further resolved, the supervisor shall prepare and certify in duplicate copies of the assessment roll for the benefit improvements adopted pursuant to section 116 and 202A, subdivision 2 of the town law, and deliver one copy thereof to the Clinton County Board of Legislators. And to be further resolved that a copy be given to the assessor, finance manager.
Is there a motion? Wood, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none. Roll, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That is carried. Resolution 215, 2018 budget amendment.
Whereas the town may need to amend the 2018 budget to reflect changes in revenue and expenditures during the year. Now therefore be resolved, budget amendments will be offset for the existing fund balance and additional revenues, and therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby authorize the following budget amendments. You want me to read them all? Well, increase appropriations aid, general research, $20,000. Decrease appropriation aid, contingency to reflect additional legal fees incurred, $20,000. Increase appropriation aid, park field maintenance, $16,000. Increase revenue aid, miscellaneous, $10,000. Decrease appropriations aid, equipment capital outlay, $13,000. Decrease appropriation aid, personal service, $17,000. Decrease appropriation aid, park supplies, $2,000. To reflect Everest Rabideau Park drainage improvement donated and the use of the parkland funds. Also purchase new soccer goals and phone upgrades. Increase appropriation A, equipment capital outlay, $29,000. Decrease appropriation A, personal services, $20,000. Decrease appropriation A, vehicle repairs, $4,000. Decrease appropriation A, retirement, $5,000. To purchase new codes and zoning truck. Consolidated sewer fund, increase appropriation capital equipment outlay, $5,500. Decrease appropriation supplies, $500. Decrease appropriations electricity, $3,000. Decrease appropriations electricity, $2,000 to reflect replacement of well pump number 7. And it be further resolved that a copy of this be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion?
Just,
I may have misheard, but there was an increase of appropriation for equipment capital outlay, not increase.
Okay.
and just one other question, with that grouping, increases and decreases don't seem to equal, is there? I'm seeing decreases of 19 and increases of
13.
39.
39.
Which grouping are you looking at?
The middle grouping, I apologize, when I read it last night, I didn't catch it, I would have sent something over.
I think it's reflective of the grant for the drainage improvement that we got. If you want to table it until the next meeting, I'm fine with that.
I thought the grant was 10,000, is that correct? So that would make sense for miscellaneous, but that would still be 29 to
Yeah,
29 to 19.
I don't have the other pieces for it now. Meg and Tom, do you want to table this?
I also don't think I have the whole thing, so yeah, I would
Okay.
think it would be a smart thing to do it.
Okay.
Get this all squared away and go and pass it.
That's fine.
Okay.
Any objection, Tom? No. Okay, all those in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Okay. Aye. Carried. Resolution 216, authorized purchase and installation of gutters for the town of Plattsburgh Town Hall.
Whereas safety concerns at the town hall building is necessary for the installation of gutters to issue the care of the building structure and safety. And whereas Mr. Rasco has made several phone calls to solicit quotes for the proposed service to have received bids to provide the required equipment. Now therefore be resolved, the town board is hereby authorized the installation of gutters at the town hall by A.W. Farrell and Sons Incorporated, 94 Industrial Boulevard, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901, in the amount of $14,777. And it be further resolved that the town board approve the said purchase as recommended by Mr. Rasco is hereby authorized to make said purchase. And it be further resolved the supervisor be and hereby authorized to sign all related documents relative to the installation of gutters at the town hall. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and building and grounds maintenance department head Richard Rasco.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion?
This is one that's been on the radar for the safety committee for quite some time. We try to make sure that we don't have the icing around the doors to help prevent some of the slip falls. So, wanted to do.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 217, water rate adjustment effective January 1st, 2019.
Whereas the Greater Town of Plattsburgh Consolidated Sewer District and the Park Sewer District were duly established wastewater districts and have appropriated expenditures for operation and maintenance of its water system. Whereas the town board recognizes the responsibility of maintaining a safe and reliable wastewater system requires increase in the rates that will both sustain the system as well as prepare for any future capital improvements. Whereas the proposed rate adjustment shall become effective January 1, 2019, and to be retroactive to that date for the previously billing period, including any and all outside users as set as follows. Metered rate shall be $5.72 per 1,000 gallons, with a minimum monthly of $16.50 or $49.50 per quarter, based on the customer's frequency billing. Now therefore be resolved that these new rates shall be in place and effective on the first quarterly billing cycle, retroactive as noted. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, tax receiver, and water and wastewater department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none.
This and 18 read the same. Should that be two? Oh no, sewer and water. Sorry, I was thinking you
Good.
base. Yeah, I'm good. My bad.
That's okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Resolution 218, water rate adjustment effective January 1st, 2019.
Whereas the Greater Town of Plattsburgh Consolidated Water District and the Park District are duly established water districts and have appropriated expenditures for operation and maintenance of its water system. Whereas the town board recognizes the responsibility of maintaining a safe and reliable water system requires increase in rates that will both sustain its system as well as prepare for any future capital improvements. Whereas the proposed rate adjustment shall become effective January 1, 2019, and be retroactive to the date of the previous billing period, including any and all outside users, excluding those who fall under intermunicipal agreement as said as follows. The meter rate shall be $2.02 per 1,000 gallon, with a minimum per monthly of $8.43 or $25.30 per quarter, based on the customer's billing frequency. Now therefore be resolved, the new rates shall be in place and effective the first full quarterly billing cycle retroactive as noted. And to be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, tax receiver, and water and wastewater department.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'm going to give it to Wood and Costick. Any discussion? Seeing none.
Just that they're still among the lowest rates in the country, and considering what we pay for cable and cell phone and things that we don't need to survive, $8.43 a month is not too bad.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 219, purchase of construction of a cold storage building.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh, town herein, is in need of a cold storage building due to the sale of the storage building at the former Clinton County Airport. Whereas the highway superintendent, Tim Dubray, has submitted a request to the town supervisor and town board for the purchase of construction of a cold storage building to house highway equipment. Whereas the highway superintendent has secured the best value option through NJPA. And whereas the expertise expense charged within the general fund of 2018 budget line item A-6-1620.200 for the cold storage building from Clearspan Fabric Structures International, 1395 John Finch Boulevard, South Windsor, Connecticut 06074, in the amount not to exceed $155,000. Now therefore be resolved, the town board approve the said purchase and construction as recommended by the highway superintendent of the new cold storage building. And to be further resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all related documents relative to the purchase and construction of the cold storage building. And that a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent and finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, discussion.
What's the NJPA?
It's similar to, it's the same, it's a similar certification as, like the state, OGS type
So
thing. It
it's-
meets those standards.
Okay, is it like New York State or?
It's part of that overall
Okay,
package. Yeah,
I have a question about the study that we did for that
yeah.
cold storage building on the base to have it taken down and brought here.
It was way too expensive, but it gave them a sense of some of the characteristics that they would need in a new building. So that was what helped do that. It was just unrealistic to bring that building over, which we thought that could be the case, but we wanted to know what are some of the things that are gonna be needed, footing, size-wise, and the building will be built on this property here.
It says that building was sold, the one that we were using on the county report, do you know?
I think they refer, I think it really should have been the property was sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the building itself. I think Monahan Medical is moving over to that location. So, because we didn't take it, maybe it got sold as far as they had to get rid of that, so.
But it was good that the evaluation was done, Meg, just because of the fact that
Yeah.
we were able to determine what would be the best avenue to take with regards to something new versus retrofitting something that we could relocate to the town.
What's the timeline on it?
They are hoping that they could begin to do some site stuff as early as March, into the spring.
And where is the stuff that needs to be stored now?
Some of it is in the pole barn, some of it is outside. Tim has said that one season of it would be fine, but you do not, I mean, it's something that you don't want to do long-term.
I believe we have some that we're allowed to store at the fairgrounds.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
We can't get it all in, there's still stuff that's gonna be outside, but
yeah.
that's what I was told.
And just so I understand, I read through this, the, not really size, because it's like a Quonset hut type building, but the material is fabric? Is that what I understand?
It's kind of a fabric type material, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's good with that, and we know that that's
The
gonna,
capacity, according to highway superintendent, and what they found is that it will be greater than what we would need at this time, so we would be able to put perhaps other departments, if they have equipment that can't get in, or if they have any future equipment.
And it would meet snow load
okay,
issues.
that was my
and, you know,
question.
those
I mean,
types
I'm sure I looked
of,
at it, just didn't have time enough.
Yeah.
to hold it.
Yeah, I asked the
Those
same
types of-
question too,
Okay.
Chuck, just so you know. Tom and I
Okay,
had
I just
talked.
want to make sure that they're good
Yep,
with it.
appreciate that.
all right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 220, setting a public hearing for local law number 3 for the year 2018, moratorium on certain specific use incompatible with the mixed-use residential development in the town's smart growth plan study area proposed zones T3C, T3N, T4, and T5. Before, Ricky, I have you read this, I'm going to make a modification on the first whereas on the back side where it says XXX, it should say whereas the town board has introduced local law. Great.
Whereas from 2017 to 2018, using funding from New York State Department of State under Environmental Protection Fund, the town of Plattsburgh has initiated and conducted smart growth planning procedures focused on the town's commercial core and its impact readiness to adjacent areas. Whereas the town of Plattsburgh seeks to promote healthy, resilient, sustainable, mixed-use development within the commercial core of the town, consisting of diverse yet comparable uses. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh has been considering the enactment of a regulation to address the potential negative impacts associated with the many incomparable with the goals of the town smart growth plan and associated study areas, specific those areas identified as multi-map entitled Town of Plattsburgh Smart Growth Draft Build-Out Map labeled T3C, T3N, T4, T5, and whereas the town board has identified the following uses as potential incompatible with the mix of the goals of the mixed-use residential development for the aforementioned proposed T3C, T3N, T4, and T5 parcels as areas of contractor storage yards, gasoline stations, public utility, storage yard, industrial machine shops. Whereas the town board has recommended a 6-month moratorium of the aforementioned use of the aforementioned parcels and areas in order to complete the smart growth plan and study the potential impacts of these uses within the study area and to consider any proposed zoning amendment contained therein. Whereas the town board has introduced local law number 3 of the year 2018 for the town of Plattsburgh entitled Moratorium on Certain Specified Uses Incompatible with Mixed Residential Development Within the Town Smart Growth Plan Study Area, Proposed Zones TC3, T3C, T3N, T4, 7, and T5. And whereas the New York State General Municipal Law 339M is applicable and referred to the Clinton County Planning Board is required. Whereas the public hearing on such proposed local law is necessary, now therefore be resolved that the public hearing will be held on said local law number 3 for the year 2018 of the town of Plattsburgh entitled Moratorium on Certain Specified Uses Incompatible with Multi-Use Residential Development in the town's Smart Growth Plan Study Area Proposed Zones T3C, T3N, T4, 7, and T5. On December 6, 2018 at 6:05 p.m. at the Town Hall, 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901. And to be further resolved, the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause of said notice and the public hearing and special meeting to be published in the Press Republican in accordance with the town law. And to be further resolved that the proposed local law be referred to the Clinton County Planning Board in accordance with General Municipal Law 339M. And it is further resolved that the town attorney represent the town for the said local law and take such action of the town board as may be directed relative to enacting of said law.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood and Hebert. I just want to provide a little bit further context. One of the things is I had hoped to have gotten this to the floor earlier. We had some staff members that were out that have some expertise in this arena, and certainly were not able to tap it, kind of went back and forth. Had some conversations up to today with Jim that really allowed us to identify some areas. My recommendation is to adopt this tonight, to have the hearing, That does not necessarily mean that we adopt the moratorium, but I would like to have the hearing, and Trevor will come on December 6th, as he's done with the solar law, so that he can do a point-by-point overview as it relates to the smart growth plan. So that's my...
On the backside, the second page, under the resolve T3C, T3,
Yep,
it was a 7, I think. in
yep,
there.
I struck it here.
It's both.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
first whereas and
Yeah.
the second resolved. Yep.
So it shouldn't be there?
The 7
No,
should
there's
not,
there's none on the
no
map.
7.
There's no
It's,
7 on the map, at least that I see.
no.
There isn't.
I have a question, is this, because we're receiving funding through 2 state streams for the smart growth plan, is there any way that introducing even a public hearing for a moratorium is going to have any effect on funding?
We can certainly make sure to explore that and have that full answer before we, enact anything.
No, I don't think it would be for the reason, the purpose of the moratorium is to allow the kind of smart plan to develop. So if things were done that we didn't, say weren't in accordance with the smart plan, that's why we have the moratorium. So I don't think that would be a problem.
Is the smart growth committee aware of this
They will be, yeah, they will be. Yeah.
in time for the public hearing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the other part that I would add to this, from the standpoint of moratoriums, some municipalities invoke a very lengthy moratorium, where the idea is to do a quick study and evaluation. Our smart growth plan is advancing our preparation of the comprehensive land use plan. So the idea is that next steps would have to be to potentially rezone and do reconfigurations. So this is an allowance to make sure that we hit the pause button for a brief period of time, but not an extended period of time. So
Is it 6 months going to be enough time?
a board can always renew a moratorium.
It's very common to renew, yeah.
Yep, but the idea is not to do this thing where we just volley it out there
Push it out.
and let it sit and let it sit and let it sit. There are many factors in the evaluation of the smart growth plan to say, and that's why I think that the map, I think this map actually says a lot, and I'm just gonna hold it up from the general perspective, is if you look at T3C, okay, that's one of the areas, but you're also looking at T4, okay, and it's giving you some sample visuals. We've had a lot of conversation about what does housing and the view of what we're looking for. I can't speak to it that well because I wasn't as intimately involved with the Ampersand project, but a lot of our projects over the years, they've spent a lot of time and attention on this. We did a traffic study on Ampersand. There's a number of things that are there, but you'll look to the north on Tom Smith Boulevard. These only cut through sections of parcels. The idea isn't to link every corner of the town. It's looking at where those key geographical gateway areas, and that's what this does. Trevor is much more experienced in being able to identify. He is our team lead on it for the smart growth. I'd encourage you to have conversations with him, but I would expect a presentation by him, and then we'll make some determinations there. But timing was dictated by a number of things. So, any further questions, comments, concerns? All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. So does carry. Seeing no need to go into executive session tonight, I would accept a motion to adjourn at 6:29. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Bostic, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, all is in favor?
Aye.
Aye.